before the Gossip Girl revival, there was the original Gossip Girl. And before that, there was the Gossip Girl book series. I stumbled upon this book in the 8th grade. And when I tell you I was hooked, I was hooked. I have read every single book, including every single spinoff. And of course, I was a huge fan of the show. So let's talk about the differences, like a few of the differences between the books and the TV show. So the Queen Bee actually has a younger brother, which wasn't mentioned in the series at all. And then when her mother remarries, they have a baby girl named Yale that I believe Blair named. Not only that, she doesn't end up with Chuck and she doesn't end up with Nate. In fact, her and Serena decide to go on a trip around the world together. It was Jenny's character that they changed the most. In the book series, Jenny was a brunette, and her whole goal in life, before she started school, was to have boobs. So she actually ordered these supplements that were supposed to help her have like bigger boobs. And she went to like double D's within like a few days because of those supplements. So not only that, she was constantly leered at because of her boobs and made fun of. Eventually, Jenny went off to a boarding school, and that started a whole different series about her adventures over there. Then she comes back, she dates Nate for a little bit, and then actually starts dating Blair's little brother. And that's towards the end of the series. Vanessa and Dan were always endgame, unlike Dan and Serena. Dan and Serena do date for a little bit, but it's really Vanessa who he ends up with. Now, Vanessa in the books, she gets assigned to a project, I believe, with Blair. And during that project, she decides to shave her head. And that becomes really her signature, her shaved head. You know, she has this attitude. She's really into film, and she's a lot more prominent in the books. The creepiness of Chuck Bass carries over in a lot of the books. Now, in the books, he is bisexual and has a pet monkey that he carries around. In the TV series, this is nowhere to be found. Eventually, he goes off to like this like men's camp or something, and then suddenly he's at the same campus as Blair is. They run into each other and then they start dating. And it's like a serious relationship to where they're talking about what they're going to do after they graduate college and thinking about moving in together. Eventually, Blair realizes that it's too adult of a relationship for her. And then that's when her and Serena go off around the world together. Serena takes the route of becoming an actress, and her and Dan do date after like the movie bombs because she's pretty aimless. So she's like, oh, maybe I'll like study like Dan does and take courses. And she basically just literally has no direction in life when she's dating Dan, and she's just Dan's girlfriend. And eventually Dan dumps her. And yeah, he decides to kind of go off and do things on his own, and of course reunites with Vanessa. But she gets to travel the world with her first and true love, which is Blair. The major bomb of the Gossip Girl series was that Dan was Gossip Girl, which I think was a total cop-out. Here's the thing, in the books you never find out who it is, and personally, I love that.